But in other baseball news, Shohei Ohtani apparently donated $500,000 to the L.A. wildfire relief. Now, I have to make it very clear, I'm never the guy that wants to spend other people's money or that's telling people what they should do with their money. I don't like that, and it rubs me the wrong way. It's like, well, what did you do? Are you donating anything? But when you're making almost $1 billion, probably more when all's said and done, playing baseball in Los Angeles, and you want fans to embrace you, and you just won a World Series, you don't think for optic reasons, or as the millennials say, the weenials, aesthetic reasons,
Aesthetics.
he couldn't have just made it $1 million? 500,000?
I don't know. How did his parlays do last weekend?
Yeah, you got exactly funny. I mean, you got Beyonce, you got Taylor Swift dropping big money, people donating. It's better than nothing, and it is very generous. So I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth, but what I am saying is $1 million would have sounded a hell of a lot better coming from the highest paid dude in baseball.
In sports.
Shohei Ohtani.
Let me tell you.
Am I wrong for saying that? Because that is the vibe.
A little bit. And I'll tell you why. Because I wrote to you in our show notes today. I texted Covino first thing in the morning.
That's precious.
After I wrote, "Good morning, sweetheart."
Yeah.
Good morning, beautiful.
I said,
It's weird. It's weird that he texts me when all he has to do is shake my shoulder.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right
Well,
there.
he doesn't want to wake you up.
Roll over, roll over.
Yeah,
Tap, tap.
just tap me.
Stop.
Tap, tap.
I wrote to Covino this morning after "Good morning, dumpling buns." Fans are dumb. They're mad he only donated $500,000.
I know
Listen,
how that sounds.
Mock me. What do we do as a show? We donate a couple $100 to a couple places that meant something to us, and donate a couple bucks if you can. This guy donated $500,000,
Yeah,
and
but
some
dude.
JOs are like, "Oh, cheapskate, get out of here."
What is that? Do the math though. What's $500,000 for a guy that's making about $1 billion?
Covino, you didn't read the whole story, though.
I never do, Danny. Don't be surprised.
Shohei deferred $2 million of the donation to 2028.
Oh, that was really nice. I mean,
That's awesome.
honestly, they'll need it still then. Not everything is needed up front.
That's funny.
It's
So again, I know how it sounds,
There's
and
two
I
ways
don't
to
want
look
to
at it.
be.
I
I don't
agree.
want to be that jerk on social media that piles on when that guy's done nothing to help anybody.
Jerk
again.
ass!
Spending other people's money. I don't want to be that guy, but it does look a little lame when everybody knows the type of money you're making. Come on. He couldn't have coughed up $1 million. $1 million to him is not that much for the city he plays for.
I get it because he represents Los Angeles. Of all the teams in all the land he could have played for, he chose the Dodgers, formerly of the Angels, right down the highway. He's, I think, generous for doing
When all
$500,000.
said and done, Spencer Pratt is going to be given back more than Shohei Ohtani is.
Los Angeles.
How does that make sense? Think about it. A reality TV star will probably end up giving more to L.A. than Shohei Ohtani, who's making $1 billion.
I did the math.
Okay.
Because it's a game of
math?
it's a game of percentages and like decimal points, and it's really
Mathematician.
difficult to figure out in my brain. But this would be like, let's say you made an even number, $100,000.
Okay.
Which is like pretty good salary, but if you made $100,000, this would be the equivalent of you donating $50 to the city of Los Angeles.
Which is generous for someone that makes $100,000, I think.
So think about it that way.
But this is a guy that makes almost $1 billion. dude.
$50.
So it
can't
is kind of weak.
But think about it. Could you
look? If $500,000 to us is a lot of money, to him it's not, and that's how you have to view it. So I understand how it appears for people to be like, "Man, that's all," but it really is kind of weak.
You
What
couldn't
about
say
everybody else that plays in LA? Sorry, Spot.
No, go ahead, please.
Like,
They should all follow
agree,
suit.
like
Yo,
LeBron James. I just wanted to double check that I didn't miss anything. I'm like, did LeBron James donate anything? No, not that we know of.
But you know what? Shame on him if he hasn't. But guys like LeBron, guys like Shohei, premier prominent dudes that run this city should lead by example in that way. You can't just take from the city and not give back.
We did a story recently where the city of Los Angeles, who had to support the parade to celebrate the Dodgers World Series championship, spent $2 million on just first responding personnel, police and fire, to support the parade. $2 million on this parade. So now it's
Worth
time to
it.
give back to the city.
Don't they give back to the city by having a team here that makes money?
And win? No, but listen, Monty.
The team paid back that $2 million.
I know they did.
Listen, I'm on not Covino's team. Sorry, dumpling buns.
Dan Byer would be very disappointed.
You're going to sleep on the couch.
Let me tell you this.
You're gonna have to cook your own dinner tonight.
I'm telling you, Monty said it, and I was about to get there. Until I see every prominent celebrity, athlete, social media influencer
Why?
emptying their pockets.
Why? Why you gotta be a follower? Lead by example,
No,
dude.
but you can't say Ohtani only donated $500,000 until I see Clayton Kershaw, Matthew Stafford,
None of them
LeBron
make
James,
the amount of money that he
Kawhi
makes,
Leonard.
though.
Yeah, but even if they donated a couple $100,000,
They should. I
haven't
think they
seen
should.
anything.
I do think they should.
And what do we always joke about when I rebuilt my house here a couple years ago?
Should have made it a smart home.
Like Spot
Absolutely.
Spot was the best, Monty, at spending my money.
Oh, I love doing it. I
Like,
still do.
You know what I would have done? I would have opened up that wall and
slow down.
done those sliding huge doors. I'm like, yeah, Spot, that would have been an extra $100,000. Well, I also would have. It's easy to spend other people's money.
Yep.
Spot has good taste, though.
I do think
I mean,
so.
he does.
Yeah,
Did
but
you listen to
when
him?
Shohei Ohtani has all these sponsorships from not only here in the States, but overseas and Japan. I was in Japan. His face was everywhere in certain cities. You don't think he could have had someone else match his $500,000 to make it $1 million, to set the precedence, to make an impact, to do something right? Look, dude, I think it's generous. I really do. But I also think it would have looked a hell of a lot better if it was $1 million. That's all I'm saying. And that is part of the story today. He donated $500,000 to the LA wildfire relief. That's nice. You know what would have been nice? If he doubled that.
I don't even know if that's true, Covino. He would have donated $1 million, and you would have sat here and you would have been like, only $1 million?
Yeah, but 500,000? Kind of
Guys, listen. Beyonce's foundation gave $2.5 million. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. $2.5 million.
It's
From
true.
the Bay Foundation.
And you know what? And you're all hypocrites. Everybody.
Get outta here.
Pretend that if you're not going to a wedding, you're not trying to match everybody else. If Beyonce gave 2.5, of course we're going to compare it to Shohei. Shohei's a billionaire. He only gave 500,000. Rich, at your wedding, you weren't saying, man, Covino only gave me this, and this guy gave me that. People always compare. Hey, we're going to a party. What are you giving him? That's just how it works. So we're going to speculate on what Shohei did. That's what people do.
That is what people do. I just think people are never satisfied.
They're not.
And the expectation of Ohtani is always just going to be never satisfied. And I'm just like, are we holding this the accountable for everybody that plays in LA?
Cheapskate. He's still I think he's a
You
cheapskate.
can't,
Maybe it's a
you
cultural.
can't call
He lives
someone a
frugally.
cheapskate. You can't call someone a cheapskate when they just donated $500,000 to anything.
Dude, we just broke down how little that is in the grand scheme of his income.
But he doesn't have that income for another 10 years.
Fellow,
You know how many sponsorships? Like I said,
All right, let's hear it, Spot.
I was going to say fellow Dodger, Freddie Freeman, donated $100,000, as well as his wife donated an additional $100,000
Like separately?
separately.
That's weird.
They have
weird.
different accounts?
I know. I have
maybe
more
it's a
questions about
maybe,
this.
Maybe it's a tax thing. Who knows? But several, like Leo DiCaprio, $1 million, J-Lo donate. Like all of these people have donated or have encouraged people to donate under like some sort of fund that they've created.
Listen.
So everyone's doing something.
Doing the right thing should never be criticized.
Taylor Swift. 10
And
million.
10 million? Man, I get it. Maybe compared to, all right, let's, I'm going to bring this into it. Culturally, for all we know, in Japan when disasters
That's
happen.
what I said.
Maybe there's a different take on it. Maybe he felt like, for all you know, Shohei Ohtani woke up and he's like, $500,000.
Maybe
Wait
there's
till
like
they get a load
maybe
of
there's
this.
an old Japanese saying that it's not about the money, it's about what he
Maybe-
does. In person and his presence moving forward, he'll be there to help.
Maybe
Maybe
he's-
there's a reason, like a cultural reason, like you said,
I'm
Rich.
just trying to think of things.
Or maybe he's just tapped out from donating to all the Godzilla disaster relief. No?
Japanese jokes. Japan. Godzilla.
I was waiting for a
The
drop.
racist
from,
drop?
Yes,
No, but it's like
yes,
more-
that's exactly
it's more
what
of
I
a
was waiting
stereotype.
for.
A lot goes on in Japan. I mean,
I
isn't
just
there a
was
Godzilla
waiting.
museum?
We don't have a CPU voice that says stereotypical.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Listen to this guy, Spot trying to backpedal. Isn't there Godzilla
Oh, I'm
museum?
not backpedaling. I'm leading into it.
Hey, I stayed at the Godzilla Hotel. They embrace him. It's true.
Anyway, so Ohtani, it's a story today. Judge for yourself. Your thoughts at Covino and Rich.
But here's the thing: you could have an opinion, and you can have a thought on it without really being judgy. I'm not judging him, but you can't help but speculate. That's all. I'm just speculating. I'm not judging.
You're
I
looking
do
at-
think there's
You're doing a little bit of
Cove,
judging.
you're looking in the collection basket
A
is what
little
you're
bit.
doing.
A
You're
little
looking
bit.
at the
Yeah,
guy next
because-
to you who's putting what in the collection basket at church.
I mean, because we have brains, right? That's why you're not going to scratch your noggin and be like, 500,000, huh? Really?
You know what $500,000 buys you in L.A.? A bunch
Yeah,
of
a
toothpicks.
shack.
Yeah,
Dude,
Shaq.
Nothing, a
love
shed.
Shaq.
And it's
Couple
also, by
toothpicks.
the way, the only. All right, I'll back up Covino in this one regard.
Buys you a cameo from Shaq.
Hey, I just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Hey,
You're
it's
on
fun.
one today.
Hey, way to recover. Thanks.
Happy birthday from Shaq.
$500,000.
500,000.
Give me more money.
I think you have to remember that L.A. is expensive. To own a home in L.A., minimum $1 million.
Minimum.
Minimum
Minimum.
$1 million. So maybe perspective-wise, if you're in, Idaho or Iowa or,
And over 10,000 houses were burnt down in one city.